Top of the morning to you. It's a Thursday morning, the third day in the month of June 2021. Good morning to you wherever you are listening to this dial. This is 32 FM 94.9, the station where we fill the world with laughter. Welcome to your Morning Tonic, the Breakdown newspaper review. This is where we get to take headlines from the major dailies, and of course we get to analyze them as well. You also have the chance to be a part of the conversation by calling on the phone numbers that will be reeled out later on the show. Good morning to you once again. My name is GBEMISOLA. SOYEMI.
My name is DELE ADEYANJU. Thank you so much for joining us. This morning I have three papers. I have the Daily Post, I have the Punch and the Nigerian Tribune newspapers. Headlines from the Daily Post. SPN condemns calls for arrest of cop who allegedly shot Shore. IPOB Kawo Sumaila tells southern elites to speak up. IPOB secessionists gathering in Edo. Police raises alarm. Terrorists killed as Boko Haram stormed Damboa with gun trucks. APC CNG says Buhari comments against Southeast on presidential. Buhari approves Nigeria's revised national climate change policy. Crisis in Imo. Federal lawmaker laments senseless killings. Sues for peace. COVID-19. University of Ibadan announces resumption of physical lectures. Gulak wasn't my guest. Uzodinma rebukes Fani Kayode over assassination remark. Any attack on an Indigbo is an attack on Nigerians. Sunday Igbo wants Buhari. Constitutional review. Nigeria needs proactive restructuring for peaceful coexistence. Osun Speaker. And still taking headlines from the Daily Post. Bodmas didn't speak for us. Bayelsa government reacts to arrest of Diri's aide by DSS. IPOB. Nigerians ask Twitter to suspend Buhari's account. Nigerians to pay toll as federal government approves private management of highways. Gunmen reportedly kill autumn security aide. And insecurity, Nigerians react as Buhari vows to deal with Nigeria's enemies.
All right, I'll take headlines from Guardian newspaper. Fireworks anger trail Buhari's shock threat to secessionists. Federal government hopeful of 3 trillion naira from marginal oil fields development. Government raises hazard allowances for health workers. May review doctors' retirement age. Nigerian leaders heartless, says Kuka. Federal Executive Council approves 5.6 billion naira for 37 COVID-19 oxygen plants. Senate moves to end first-degree HND dichotomy. Federal government proposes 30-year concession for 4 airports. I'll take that again. Federal government proposes 30-year concession for 4 airports. ECOWAS submits State of Community today. NG raises concern over rising insecurity in Nigeria. Federal government cleans 17 contaminated sites in Ogoni. Also, federal government floats bill to legalize teachers' new retirement age of 65. And finally, from air, APC group comments Buhari on payment of 2 trillion naira budget support to states.
From the Nigerian Tribune newspaper, onion producers suspend supply to Southeast. Federal government attacks Twitter for deleting Buhari's tweet. Autumn security advisor killed. And those who govern us have no blood in their hearts. Kuka with those right there as APC, PDP trade blame over insecurity. APC woos Mimiko. Ethnic religious suspicion fueling crisis in Nigeria are laughing. And 3 security personnel die as IBB son. Family members escape death in auto crash. 5 fared killed as robbers raid bank in Osun. Buhari seeks extension of teachers' retirement age by 5 years. Foreign Fulani herdsmen. Bandits planning to invade Southwest. Amotekun boss. Guild of Editors expressed concern over growing insecurity. And finally from here, local AK-47 factory discovered in Jos. Each sells for 80,000 naira and have fabricated 180 units in 3 years.
Sex for grades, almost 2 years after Unilag sacks lecturers indicted in scandal. That's from Premium Times. More headlines from Premium Times. Nigerian government reacts to Twitter deleting Buhari's tweet. Twitter deletes Buhari's controversial tweet. Governor Otom devastated by assassination of security aide. COVID-19 vaccination, more than 10,000 Nigerians report side effects, official. Also from Premium Times, Nigerians criticize Buhari after Twitter deletes controversial tweet. 3 killed as army intercepts gun runners. Planned demolition, Deeper Life Church demands 140 million naira compensation. Lagos offers 19 million naira. Edo PDP chairman suspended after criticizing Governor Obaseki. In Akwa Ibom, police arrest 10 suspects over deadly attacks on security officials. NIS is saying over 40,000 passports ready, yet to be collected. Senate passes bill to end discrimination against HND holders. Buhari transmits bill extending retirement age and service years for teachers to the Senate. And one or two more from here. Reps Minority Caucus asks police to track killers of Otom's aid. And finally, COVID-19, Nigeria to build 5.6 billion naira oxygen plants in 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory.
From the Punch newspaper, Osun bank robbers flee as police. Hunters confront raiders, casualties unknown. Foreign herdsmen in southwest forests likely to launch attacks. Amotekun. Herdsmen refuse to comply with Akeredolu's directive on registration. Ondo. Unilag fires lecturers mentioned in sexual harassment story. Baba may be confirmed as IGP today as police council meets. Dad. 3 siblings killed when about 200 Fulani attacked us. Benue resident. 81 suspected kidnappers. Bandits paraded. 17 AK-47 rifles recovered. And food scarcity looms if open grazing continues, declares Okowa. We know those behind killings but haven't labeled them terrorists. Kuka. 21 directors fail exams to become permanent secretaries. World will recognize united, not divided Nigeria. Ganduje. Nigerians attack federal government. Government fumes as Twitter deletes Buhari's civil war posts. Lagos creates awareness on benefits of wetlands. More stories from the Punch newspaper this morning. Sanwo-Olu seeks Dangote Foundation partnership for job creation. And new technology to eliminate delay in court. AG. Nigerians should refrain from falsifying affidavits. And finally, Buhari sends bill seeking teachers' retirement age extension. Those are headlines from the Punch newspaper.
I'll take a few from Inside Oyo. UI announces dates for resumption of physical classes. Alaafin calls for true federalism, says Nigeria's situation is fragile. Oyo to launch anti-open grazing task force in 8 weeks. That's coming from the governor. Ibadan's Alafia estate robbery. We responded to distress call, recovered weapons. Oyo Police Command. Olayinka, okay. Let me see this one. Olubadan, others urge federal government to support local production.
All right, we have the time coming up to 11 minutes past 6 this morning. We'll quickly go for our first break on the show. When we come back, we'll bring you the analysis of the news with Dr. Oluwaje Doklas. She is already in the studio. Good morning. Stay with us.
Home. There's something about it. From the feeling of peace and serenity.
Bros. Why so deep? Home is anywhere the Airtel Home broadband is. That's all.
Enjoy more data than before on Airtel Home Broadband. Get a router for 25,000 naira with up to 160 gigabyte and a MiFi for 12,000 naira with up to 55 gigabyte. Reliable home broadband by Airtel, the smartphone network.
láti gòkè àgùnlà láyé èèyàn nílò ìtọ́sọ́nà ẹni tó mọ̀nà débi àṣeyọrí. FMH International HR àwọn ni gbajúgbajà akọ́ṣẹ́mọṣẹ́ iléeṣẹ́ alárinà tó mọ ojúlẹ̀jà bá ti ń tọ́ni sọ́nà finimọ̀nà nípa bí gbogbo òǹwáṣẹ́ lè pàdé àwọn òǹgbanisíṣẹ́ pàápàá jùlọ láwọn orílẹ̀-èdè tó wà lókè òkun.
FMH International HR alábàáṣepọ̀ gidi ni wọ́n jẹ́ pẹ̀lú àjọ oníwádìí ìjìnlẹ̀ àgbáyé tá a mọ̀ sí United Nations Volunteer Research Group láti jùmọ̀ tọpinpin wàhálà táwọn ọmọlẹ́yìn ń kojú nídìí ìgbìyànjú ajé lọ sílẹ̀ òkèèrè. ìyẹn ọ̀rọ̀ tó jẹ mọ́ international migration àti international labour activities.
ǹjẹ́ o tiẹ̀ mọ̀ pé o nílò ìmọ̀ tó jinlẹ̀ dáadáa nípa ìlànà à ń tẹ̀lé láwọn pápákọ̀ òfurufú tó fẹ́ gbà sọdá sílẹ̀ òkèèrè. lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ bá a ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ yìí United Nations Volunteer Research Group pẹ̀lú àjọṣepọ̀ FMH International HR ń ṣe research lórí ẹ̀dùn ọkàn àti ìpèníjà tẹ́ ẹ bá ní. questionnaires táwọn òṣìṣẹ́ FMH bá fún yín lágbègbè yín lẹ́ ó ṣàlàyé ìrírí yín sí.
fún àlàyé lẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́ kàn sí wọn ní 3rd and 9th floor Cocoa House Dùgbẹ̀ Ìbàdàn.
telephone 0817 4444 627
àti 08168737222.
This is what you hear on Sunday.
You were beautiful.
This is what happens before Sunday.
Where are the teams? One more slip up and you are out. Do you understand? It's rehearsal time, everybody.
Where's my dress, so?
Watch Countdown to Showtime, an exclusive behind-the-scenes look at the intense rehearsals, painful setbacks, and all the drama as the contestants battle for the ultimate prize on Nigerian Idol. Countdown to Showtime, only on showmax.com.
Uncle Dentist, wetin be cavities and how Colgate take dey protect my teeth from cavities? Shey dey use comfort?
No, dear. Na hole for teeth dey cause most tooth pain wey be cavity. But if you use Colgate Maximum Cavity Protection, take brush every day. The confirmed formula go help keep natural calcium inside our teeth, wey go protect them from tooth decay.
Time don reach to upgrade to the world's most chosen toothpaste, Colgate, because Colgate locks calcium in.
Now, the Nigerian Dental Association, they recommend Colgate.
In case you just joined us, this is 32 FM 94.9 Ibadan. The program is Newspaper Review. My name is DELE ADEYANJU.
And I am GBEMISOla. SOYEMI. We're live on YouTube, so you can join us live. 32 FM 949 Ibadan. 32 FM 949 Ibadan is the channel. We get to the analysis of some of the stories we took earlier, and of course, you're joined in the studio by Dr. Olu Ojedokun this morning. Good morning to you, Doctor.
Top of the day to you.
All right. The first story I have here, of course, is what has been making around since yesterday. It's about a post that the president put up on Twitter, and of course, how Nigerians reacted to it and how Twitter reacted as a follow-up to the reaction of Nigerians. Nigerian government reacts to Twitter deleting Buhari's tweet. Nigeria's Minister of Information, Lai Mohammed, has accused Twitter of bias against President Muhammadu Buhari. The official was reacting to Twitter's deletion of a tweet made by the president on Tuesday, threatening to rain civil war-like attention on those promoting insurrection and attacking national assets. Doctor, did you see the post?
Not only did I see the post, I was able to replay the clip. I actually thought it was one of the aides of Buhari that came up with such a nonsensical tweet, tweet, only to discover that Buhari himself did say some of those words. And of course, it constitutes a speech. There's no doubt about that. Twitter was able to slate it as such. Of course, Lai Mohammed comes up with the usual. He plays the same record all the time. To say that Twitter is against the government, CNN is against the government, Facebook is against the government, everybody's against the government is perfect and the government is doing everything right. I think it was rather unfortunate that the president of a democracy, so-called democracy, can issue such a statement. Is either out of touch. Well, it's either out of touch with reality, or he seems to think that he's still in the military. Because what he was saying, you understand, apart from the fact that he was addressing a section of the country, he's ignored the other section where violence has festered for years, you understand. And even the particular Fulani people where violence has also festered. And now concentrating on the southeast and saying we'll treat them in the same manner as during the Civil War. In other words, civil liberties will be suspended. It will go after them without regards for their rights, and violence and mayhem will be visited upon them. It's rather unfortunate. And I hope that the people in his party, the APC, are communicating with him, reaching out to him to say, you, as a president of a democracy, you don't make such statements because it belittles you, it demeans you, and of course, it ostracizes you from the Committee of Nations.
Now, it seems, I don't know if there's something the present leadership we have, or maybe should I say, I mean, you are also not a young person. Sometimes I look at how...
I'm a young person.
Not exactly. Sometimes I look at how this generation... by this generation, I believe the set of people I'm referring to, how this generation reacts to some. Is it that they don't understand how technology works? Because Lai Mohammed's response is more like it feels like, I don't know if it feels like Twitter is a government on its own, and maybe Twitter was elected by some people, and you can just say anything to them or you can take measures against them.
It's an analog response in a modern day age. That's what it is. They're out of touch, obviously. What I don't understand is that President Buhari is not the first person who has been given such treatment. In fact, he's a smaller fry.
And people are calling that he should even be suspended like Donald Trump was.
Yes, but Donald Trump was, he had multiple offenses, as it were. But people will say that. So Twitter exercises a lot of power. It is not a government agency, you understand? It's a private business, but they exercise a lot of power because obviously you have followers and you can influence a lot. And I think the concern of Twitter is that if they continue to ventilate such ill thought out and misconceived thoughts by the president of Nigeria, then it's likely to cause disaffection and it's likely to cause the opposite of what the government of Nigeria should be doing. So I think they need to understand the way the world works. And I think Lai Mohammed may have passed his sell-by date. Let's have someone who is modern, who can engage with social media, and who understands the nuances, because there are a lot of nuances going on around. But I think it's a state of governance in Nigeria today. Many people will suggest that it is not just about age. There are people of older than me, you understand, since you brought age into the question, who are technically and social media savvy. So I think there is the willingness to learn and the willingness to be open.
All right,
I'm not sure.
Dr. Jedokun, let's paint a scenario. What if the messages had been about Boko Haram and IPOB, not just facing the section of the economy? Are we going to have the same results?
Reaction.
We may not have had the same reaction, but it would also be wrong for the government to suggest that they would melt out the same treatment that the Boko Haram is melting out on people, because it's a democracy. In other words, people have rights. Yes, you pursue them. Yes, you arrest them, but you have to subject them to a process. And that process involves, you understand, giving them an opportunity to be heard. I'm not saying you allow them to continue to kill. So even if it was Boko Haram, it would have been wrong for any section of the country. So I think there are two aspects on it. He concentrated on one aspect of the country, and secondly, the means and methods by which he wants to address it are wrong. Also, the other thing is that he doesn't engage with the issue. You come from speech in somewhere in some I don't know where you call the place in Nassau Rock, it's a banquet hall or whatever, you understand, and you come up with a statement. It's devoid of reality. It's not connecting with people. It's not communicating, and it's not engaging at all. And I think that's part of the problem of Mr. President. It's been shielded, and the fact that it's been shielded means that a lot of time when he speaks, is out of touch.
Mogalo suggested that he should have first interacted with all these people one-to-one before coming out with whatever solutions, because they actually have genuine agitations. Yes,
but he wouldn't, and they wouldn't allow him to. And the reason, in my view, they won't allow him to is because Mr. President's cognition is poor. He has the ability to remember things that happen, like civil war. But when it comes to the present reality of the day, he doesn't engage with it. Because I asked the question.
This situation has actually allowed you to validate all these claims I've been making.
Yes. He can't deal with the reality. Yes, he can draw from the past, but dealing with the reality, and we don't need such a person to be the president. Democratic way, of course, before they come and suggest we are suggesting anything else. In a normal climate, such a person would have gone for medicals. They would have checked his medical to see whether he can rule or not, and the Senate and the House of Reps would have done their job.
Should we put that into consideration when electing people into office in the future?
Absolutely. I think people elected into office should tender their medical reports. They should have full medical. It happens in America. It happens in many parts of the world. So that we know that we're not electing somebody who's maybe has half a leg, you understand, or has some chronic disorder which has been shielded from people, from that point of view. And I say that with all seriousness and with no levity at all.
Dr. Jedokun, last year, October, after the NSAS issues, Nigerians asked Mr. President to come out and talk. Eventually, when Mr. President spoke, Nigerians were shocked. Now we said presidency was actually running the affairs of this country, and Mr. President was just silent. Now he spoke, we are complaining.
But of course, we have security issues of kidnappings in the last few months that
maybe
did not exactly react to.
Maybe if presidency had just been on top of their game and we have left Mr. President, then we wouldn't be here talking about civil war and all that.
I know. But the reason why we ask him to talk is because he's our president. The reason why we ask him to talk is because we elected him. He doesn't give us instructions. We give the president instructions. That's the nature of democracy. And that's what Garba Shehu doesn't understand. We give him instruction. Of course, when he spoke, he didn't speak from his heart. He didn't speak from his mind because he can't. He spoke scripted. And when you speak scripted and there's no emotional connection
Are you referring to the latest tweet or the...
I'm referring to all the tweets that have come up in the last 4 or 5 years, or speeches. There's no connection. And because there's no connection, there's no power. And because there's no power, people are dissatisfied. And when they say they want the president to speak, they're not saying they want him to speak to words. They want to hear from his heart. Father, Baba, say Baba, say Baba. They want to hear him engage with the people of this country. That's what they want to hear, and that's what we're not getting.
All right. Right now, Sunday Igbo has declared support for the people of Igbo. Igbo made this known while reacting to the same tweet. And I don't know, Igbo right now is one of the most popular guys in this country.
Well, it might be popular in some areas, you understand, and it's popular in some areas because where the security forces have failed, where the security has broken down, he has filled a gap. It's because there's a vacuum, that's why it's popular. Not because he has any virtue.
Now we have some Obas supporting him.
Yes, because he's giving them protection, because he's offering hope. He's offering a way out. And he's ensuring that the Yoruba people and Southwest people are not being slaughtered, like chickens. That's why they're supporting. Not because they really like him or not because they agree with his politics. Because his politics is politics of succession. And most people in the Southwest are not for succession. They're for self-governance within Nigeria. You understand? Restructuring, as it were. But of course, he will continue to be popular if security is not provided, if the herdsmen of whatever tribal coloration continue to reign supreme, from that point of view. But how long will Igbo last? That's the question. How long? How long?
All right, and still on that same path, there's this headline that says, Nigerian leaders heartless, says Kuka. Catholic Bishop of Sokoto Diocese, Matthew Kuka, has described Nigerian leaders as heartless for allegedly watching bandits and terrorists turn the country into a killing field. How true is that?
I'm not sure I agree with Kuka that they're heartless, but they're certainly clueless. They're certainly devoid from reality. They're not engaging with the issues. Would it be right to say that they deliberately, ignore what is going on? I'm not sure. I think they just don't have a clue. And that's different from being heartless. I would not agree with my Lord Bishop in that sense. But clueless, they certainly are, because they're unable to deal with the issues, engage with it, or even understand how to stem the tide.
Army alone cannot solve Nigeria's security problems. Guess who this is coming from? The Chief of Army Staff, Major General Farouk Yahya, on Wednesday said only the land forces and the military cannot contain enormous security challenges ravaging the country. According to him, the war against insurgency and armed banditry cannot be won by a single service, but rather through a synergistic approach. He added that the centrality of air power to the success of the ongoing fight against insurgency, armed banditry, and other forms of criminality in the country is very key. All the security agencies put together, is there any form of unity amongst them that would even make us win this war?
I think the late Lieutenant General Ataru, and I think this Major General is continuing, if he remains a Major General, and what they were trying to do was trying to get some synergy, as it were, amongst all the forces. The Navy, they're less relevant there, the Air Force, even the police to a certain extent, and they were trying to get some synergy. And I think this Chief of Army Staff, many of us haven't supported his appointment, but I think he's starting on the right note. I think the main problem is not even about land forces, it's about air power. It's about special forces. And special forces are those that infiltrate, go behind the enemy lines, get intelligence, get logistics, get a lot of valuable information, feed them, to the central command. And so in doing that, they go after their command and control structure. In Nigeria, we've never been able to go after the command and control structure of Boko Haram or ISWAP, as we call them.
Do we have the special forces? Are they functioning if we have them?
I believe we might have them.
Oh, we are not even sure.
Well, I'm not sure. I'm not sure because they're not functioning, because you don't hear stories. But the problem with special forces is even when they are successes, they don't usually go to the pages of newspaper. Yeah, you don't hear from them. But the success of Boko Haram and ISWAP seems to indicate that we don't have that intelligence. If we had the intelligence, what we would have been able to do would have been able to exploit the division between ISWAP and Boko Haram, because there's some division between them. We've not been able to because we don't have the intelligence, we don't have the legs or the boots on the ground. But I think the Major General deserves support. He deserves the support of government, but I think also the problem that they also have is that anytime they vote money for armory and weaponry, it does a walkabout. I
was actually coming to that. If you're talking about the willpower of the military formations in the country, what about the willpower of government?
Yes, it's the willpower of government. I think some people in government seems this whole thing.
What if somebody powerful somewhere in government or out of government is actually funding this Boko Haram? Maybe
it's possible.
This same Boko Haram it's not the same Boko Haram that we used to know.
No, it's not. It's possible. The fact is that if they don't get the full support of government, then no matter the strategy, no matter the logistics, politics, no matter the talk of the chief of army staff, they're not going to go anywhere.
Because Boko Haram up to now has not been named as a terrorist organization.
Yes, and that's part of the irony of Nigeria. IPOB, they rushed to declare IPOB a terrorist organization, but Boko Haram not so. And that's where the question whether they have the political will. And the Boko Haram look at the body language, they look at the nod and the wink of the government. And if they found out that this government was determined and this government really, you understand, wanted to go for the kill, they might even want to come to the negotiating table and be able to talk and do jaw. But they know that many people within the government, are not that interested. Somebody said the other day that this Boko Haram, once they just say they repent, that they can even be president of Nigeria. And the person was a military commander.
And there is a very thin line between Boko Haram and banditry.
Well, it's a thin line. I even suspect that Boko Haram is behind many of the banditry. I think banditry sounds to be a fancy build name, but it's a dastardly and heinous
unknown gunmen.
And maybe Sheikh Gumi knows something or can identify where the thin line is.
He probably can, but I tell you what is also going on. It's not a story that will trend. I spoke to the uncle yesterday. It's unverified, and I know you're going to be careful about it. I spoke to the uncle of a victim who they said died in natural cause. I spoke to him yesterday. He didn't die in natural cause, but the police are coming up with a different narrative. He was strangled. I'm not going to go into the details of that, but that's what we're getting. We're not getting truth sometimes from the security forces. They're hiding and they're covering the seriousness of the situation. Our situation is so serious that we need the government to begin to tell the truth and let us know where we are so that we know where we're going.
Now, if we continue like this, is there a possibility that in the nearest future, Nigeria could be declared a hostile country because it is possible by other nations?
No, it's very possible. It's very possible. I think to countries like USA already, Nigeria is a failed state. I'm one of those who always comes up with a hint of optimism to say, no, we're not a failed state, we are a failing state. Well, whatever the difference is that Nigeria basically is harboring the most dangerous criminals, the most dangerous, what you call them, kidnappers, and so on and so forth. And the problem is that many countries, even our neighbors, will begin to say, well, let's treat Nigeria with some gloves because we don't know whether they're going to export some of these people to our land.
Well, the time is coming up to after 6. When we come back, we have some reports here. Foreign herdsmen in southwest forests likely to launch attacks at Motekun. And we take it with this one. IPOB secessionists gathering in Edo. Police raises alarm. Stay with us.
Veneto cleanser ló ń jẹ́ o. Ojú rẹ̀ ṣàǹjọ̀lọ̀ lójoojúmọ́ kí làṣírí ẹ wà rí.
Veneton cleanser ni.
Jámi sí ọ̀rẹ́.
Veneton cleanser. Egbòogi àtẹ́jẹ̀ṣe tí bádọ̀tí ara wọ̀ yá ìjà rẹ̀ wọ́n mọ́lẹ̀ ṣe wọ́n yẹbẹyẹbẹ. Inú tó ń kú tó ń dàrú gbòdògbòdò. Kò bára rẹ̀ èrí inú ẹ̀jẹ̀. Amọ̀nà ti dé o. Veneton cleanser. Egbòogi àtẹ́jẹ̀ṣe tí a fi ewé àti egbò ṣe ní ọ̀nà tìgbàlódé. NAFDAC Fòǹtẹ̀lù EMI1 Nigeria Limited ni wọ́n gbé Veneton cleanser jáde. A wà ní nọ́mbà 17 Ọba Akínyẹlé off Adeogun Street, Aláàfin Avenue, Olúyọ̀lé Estate, Ring Road, Ìbàdàn. Telephone 08034051533. Fún títà àti rírà, ìwọ náà darapọ̀ mọ́ wa. Veneton cleanser, àmọ̀tẹ́kùn egbòogi tí ń ya gbogbo kòkòrò inú ẹ̀jẹ̀ wẹ́lẹ́wẹ́lẹ́.
As a child, I already know what I will become. As a kid, I already know that I am a star. As young as I am, every child dream is valid with that.
Iléeṣẹ́ Novesola wọ́n ní kí n sọ fún ọ pé tòjò tẹ̀rùn gbogbo àkókò ńlẹ̀ dá ádámà nílò náà yàtọ̀ sí náà dògán tá a fi ń sun bọ̀ọ̀lì lábà oko àgàgà yín náà sólà tó ń gbàgbára láti inú òrùn tó bá gbọ́ Novel sólà ní ó tẹ̀lé iléeṣẹ́ Novesola wọ́n ti wà ní sẹpẹ́ fún pèsè àwọn èròjà sólà lẹ́lẹ́kàǹkà inverter solar panels and batteries solar kit láti tanná láti charge battery gbọ́ rédíò kọrin jẹ̀gbádùn àti láti tanná ẹlẹ́yin bíi 2 sí 3 solar fan tó ń gbé fan láti tanná sùn dẹ́kun ẹ̀fọn amáranini ṣokùnfà àìsàn ibà solar floodlight fàyíká ilégbèé àtòpópónà fún sàìmọ́lẹ̀ solar freezer láti ṣe nǹkan jíjẹ mímu lọ́jọ́sí kómi síta fún oníbàárà solar CCTV camera ẹlẹ́yinjú àsáfà àbò nílé iṣẹ́ àtọ́fíìsì solar water heater tí somi tútù di gbígbóná solar water pump tó lè fami gòkè ní kànga energy saving appliances DC bulb DCTV DC fan tó ń gbàgbára náà sára bẹ́ẹ̀ làkànṣe solar product wà fún dókítà lecturers farmers tailor àtàwọn ṣọ́ọ̀bù káríkárí Novesola kan náà ń lo kájú ẹ̀ kàn sí wọn bó rajà lólulẹ̀ iṣẹ́ wọn tó wà ní Akíndélé plaza ìdójúkọ Adamasingba stadium Mọ́kọ́lá Ìbàdàn tàbí lẹ́ka ilé iṣẹ́ wọn tó bá súnmọ́
081-8776-6000
005. Novesola ló mójútó solar.
As the best man, I'd like to give a toast. But first, I have a few things to say. The money they are spraying the couple is reducing. It seems some people have rubbed glue under their shoes to pack it.
Clearly, he's been watching Comedy Nights or maybe My Siblings and I on Africa Magic Urban, DSTV channel 153. Now, you too can get inspired by our local entertainment. Get a HD decoder, dish, plus 1 month DSTV compact subscription for only 18,600 Naira. Because great stories start on DSTV.
32 FM
94.9.
All right, we have more stories for you this morning, and Dr. Jadoko is still very much around. Gbemi.
All right, this is In the Nation. We're coming back to Oyo State. Foreign Fulanis have invaded southwest Oyo Amotekun boss. This is the chairman Oyo State Security Network, codenamed Amotekun, General Kunle Togun, has alleged foreign Fulanis have encamped the entire southwest region and may strike if nothing is done urgently. Togun, a former director of military intelligence and former deputy director general of State Security Service, however, advised people to be security conscious and prepared to defend themselves.
I mean, this is of concern because Brigadier Togun, as I refer to him as, is very well experienced. You've mentioned his role in military intelligence. He was under the Babangida administration. And it's very clear about this invasion by Fulani. In fact, he's not hiding it. He says Fulani herdsmen or Fulani of whatever coloration. And I think that's of concern. The question you then ask is, why are they camped there? What is their strategic objective? Is it true? Because some people have been saying that there's a Fulanization agenda. I've never really believed it, but with what Togun is saying, it appears that it's tapping into something. But I also think that the whole security in Southwest is a bit porous and that we're exposed. I had someone the other day come from England, went to bury his mother, you understand, he came with his sister, and before you knew it, you understand, he was missing. He just went from Ibadan to Ife and he was missing. You know, thank God it was found, but the story is something for another day. So there are things like that. People are now finding it increasingly difficult to travel. So, of course, people have to be security conscious. But he asked you the question, where are we going as a nation? Where are we going as a country? And where are we going as a region?
Yeah, he actually gave some insights. He said the foreigners have been penetrating localities in the region to monitor the environment over the years. So it's not something that,
it's not a recent thing.
Started when the insecurity increased. He said they wanted just to pave way for the big strike. The strike, according to intelligence reports, he said, will be aided by local collaborators based on the belief God has given them Nigeria, especially the Southwest, as inheritance.
Well, it looks a bit fanciful, but when you see people like Igbo using his native intelligence, going all over the place, asking for a separate Yoruba nation, it's because of things like this that he's aware of. And that's why he's going around saying we must show up our security, we must do something about it. He's going about it the wrong way, that's Igbo, but I think the advice of Togo is the right one. We have to be vigilant. But what steps are we going to take, apart from putting it on the pages of newspaper and giving analysis in radio stations? I think Amotekun needs to be armed up, as it were. Amotekun needs to be increased. Investment in Amotekun needs to be upped, you understand, all around the Southwest, so that if there's any such thing that happens, we're able to resist, and we're able to resist in a meaningful way.
So far as Amotekun been able to, I don't know, can we say we've recorded a certain level of success with Amotekun?
If you're talking about intelligence gathering, yes, Amotekun is doing well. When it comes to intelligence gathering, they're doing very well. But if you're talking about apprehending, pursuing, they don't have the capacity really to do that. They have Dane guns. What can Dane guns do? So they have to be very careful. But they work with the police. The police is their sort of cover. And the success of Amotekun will depend on the kind of cooperation they're getting from the federal police. We have a federal police, remember, and the federal police takes its instruction from Abuja. So if the federal police is not cooperating with Amotekun, then Amotekun really is a damn squeeb.
Gani Adams on Monday also said something about using traditional method to tackle insecurity in the Southwest.
Well, I don't know whether you want to believe in all that kind of stuff. Obasanjo, somebody once came to him before he was going to the war and told him he had a bulletproof jacket, you understand, that if he wears that jacket, jazz and that sort of thing, that nothing will happen to him. And Obasanjo, of course, said, let's try it on this goat, you understand? And, of course, if it works, he was being charitable. I think he should have said, let's try it on the person. And they shot at the goat. Of course, the goat was slaughtered.
Maybe it's made for humans and not goats.
Well, that could be another possibility. All this jazz something, I don't really buy into it. There's some people who buy into it that Ogbo is able to do some jazz stuff. It happens. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. But whether in the face of the ferocity of AK-47, called Kalashnikovs, you understand, and all this air power, whether we can use that, I'm not so sure. It has limited value. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. So Gani Adams can raise it. It might scare a few people, but I don't think it's going to scare the hardened Boko Haram or the hardened Fulani invader.
All right, away from that to other news. Nigerians begin to pay toll as federal government approves private management of highways. Some of the highways are Benin Asaba, Abuja Lokoja Onitsha, Aba Owerri, Shagamu Benin, Abuja Kefi Akwanga, Kano Meduguri. Also, Kano, Katina, Lokoja, Benin, Enugu, Port Harcourt, Ilorin Jeba, Lagos, Abeokuta, and Lagos, Badagry.
Well, the reason why we're tolling is because we simply don't have the money to continue to maintain it. Government cannot continue to dip into their resources just to maintain. So I think it's not a bad thing. I think it's a good thing. The question is, where does the money go? We're not concerned because it becomes a private venture. So whatever the private capitalist, the venture capitalist wants to do with the money, so far as it's been maintained, I think we are okay by it. I just hope that the toll is not too expensive so that the common man, like you and I and the rest, are still able to travel without, being stripped of the little money that the economy allows us to own. So I think it's a good development. It will ensure that government's money is freed up for other things.
I'm
like
not sure
education.
Lagosians are complaining about the Lekki toll.
Well, they were, because that one was extortion, wasn't it? I mean, the Lekki toll was good for a time, but you paid Lekki toll, you paid the Ikoyi toll. So I think the tolls were just too much for them. But I think even in Lagos... Do you
have an idea how much they pay?
Oh, it used to be something like 200 or 250 or something like that, around about that. But the point about it is that if you paid toll, you went, and you came back, you paid another toll, and you came back, you paid another toll. So depending on how many times you went in and out, you understand. And I felt in Lekki toll, you should have done in such a way that you can just pay for a day, so that you don't need to be going in and out and paying all the time.
Just your ticket or something.
Yes, I felt that's the way it should have been done. And then there was the issue of accountability. Where was the money going to? Of course, it was going to the concession company, but were they really using that money to develop, to facilitate the whole of that network? I'm not sure entirely. Now the government has taken it over. Let's see what the government is going to make out of it. I think in the long term, the government is thinking, are they going to reintroduce toll? But until they get the buy-in of the people, the support of the people, I don't think they will introduce it.
But based on the present economic realities in this country, should we even be talking about toll at this time?
Yes, because, you see, the government needs money. And the government needs money to pay salaries. And the government needs money for other things.
But that affects the common man more than it would affect an average.
Yes, it would.
But
also
people
what
of the
it will
middle
do,
class.
It will raise a lot of money for the government to invest in other ventures. Okay, let's look at Oyo State, for instance. If you go to Challenge area now, it's going to become a cash cow. Because a lot of people in Oyo State, in Ibadan in particular, do not obey the traffic rules, from that point of view. So, of course, they're going to be fined from that point of view. But as far as Oyo State is concerned, they're going to be fining them. And, of course, its common man is going to be disproportionately affected. But the money they get from it, they can reduce the school fees in Lautech. They can ensure that there's free education. They can ensure that some infrastructure. So you have to give. You have to take and give. So common man, of course, will suffer, but their facilities will better access to facilities and education and such like.
All right, what will happen to the 14 billion naira jewelry seized from Dizani?
Well, I would hope that money could be plowed back into the economy to ensure that we stop borrowing and having deficits and so on and so forth. But I cannot tell you that with certainty that that's what will happen. It seems as if some of the loot is being relooted. That's the problem. And
the Abacha loot and all the other loots from Switzerland, from other countries.
Yes. We can't really account for it. It's because, remember the Lagos-Ibadan road, some of those loots have been used to build it over 3 times over. They keep on saying it. So that's the problem we have with this relooted stuff.
All right, we'll open the phone lines now so you can call in to drop your contribution 0705 5949 or 0809 7949. You can also drop your comments on YouTube 32FM 949 Ibadan. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. John and Doc is my name. Doctor, thank you. I appreciate His Eminence, Bishop Hazam Matthew Foot, and constructive criticism. But then the best language this time is that the leaders are not heartless, but clueless and visionless. I appreciate it because when people become silent, the government becomes oppressive. You recall that in the Second Republic, a psychiatric doctor, Professor Adeyanju Lambo, once advised that anyone seeking political office should go for psychiatric test after watching the conduct and statement coming out from the political leaders there. I am once again John. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your contribution. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Demi. Good morning, Doctor.
Good morning.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, can you hear me? Good morning.
We are with you. Go ahead.
All right. My name is Dr. Mark. Now, I have two issues to raise. Well, let me quickly go on. So, I want to believe that it is a PPP thing. The public-private partnership. It's not that government completely gives it out to private sector. Government has a stake in it. So there is a cost that goes to the government. Then I want to also say something about the statement tweet of Mr. President yesterday that was removed. No country in the world can bear such tweet that from a particular sector in the country will be dealt with as if they are in a war. You see, it's not good for democracy at all. I'm sure that was why Twitter removed it. Now, secondly, we have people that have been terrorizing everywhere, terrorizing virtually everywhere. But because these people are from the tribe of our president, he has never gone after them for once. And now for people that are clamoring for protection, he said he was going to go out, deal with them the way he dealt with them in 1967. I mean, it is somehow. So the statement shouldn't have come from somebody that was elected democratically. We're in democracy. If there is anything happening somewhere, we should have a discussion, call all the people, all the leaders, all their representatives, and then have a dialogue with them to be able to know what their problem is. It's not by saying you want to bombard them and all that. That is not the way to go. It means that this particular administration has an agenda. If you are not smoking all the Fulani bandits, causing problems everywhere out of the forest, and you want to go after people who want to be identified, because you feel they are not carried along. I mean, it is not good for this particular situation that we are. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. We'll go on a break now. When we return, to take more calls and messages.
As a child, I already know what I will become. As a kid, I already know that I am a star. As young as I am, every child dream is valid with Adron Homes.
Yes, with Adron Homes Young Landlord products, every child can become a landlord today. Buy a plot of land for your child and enjoy up to 20, 40 or 50% discount with 6 to 36 months payment plan. That's not all. You get lots of free giveaways like school bags, provisions, free meal voucher at The Place Restaurant, Domino's or Chicken Republic, and many more freebies. For more inquiries, call these numbers:
081-6755-2420 or 090-2047-5116.
Every child dream is valid with Adron Homes.
The lights are on and the stage is set for the next music sensation. Who will be the next Nigerian idol? Watch the live performances every Sunday at 7 p.m. and keep your favorite contestant only by voting. Vote via SMS by texting VOTE and your favorite contestant's number to 32053. Each SMS costs 30 naira. You can also vote for free on the website africamagic.tv/Nigerian Idol or get a woof votes by downloading the My DSTV or My GoTV app for more voting power. Keep your fave in the game. Voting starts on Sundays and ends Wednesdays. Nigerian Idol, sponsored by Techno Mobile and Biggie Drinks.
Guy, what's in the make you scatter house like this?
I beg, you help me see my Airtel SIM.
I carry and give Shade yesterday. But you know they use am again now.
Yeah, you don't carry my bonus give landlord picking. Now today you go pack out.
On top Airtel SIM?
Yes, so if you don't reach 15 days where you never use your Airtel SIM, go find them now. Because why? Ogonga will full on top of. Hey, get 2,000 naira airtime plus extra 200 MB for just 200 naira. The more you recharge, the more you are woofo. To begin enjoy this awoof, just dial *241*7#. Terms and conditions, Joe.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, sir.
I'm Palodo calling from Papa Ilodo.
All right.
Briefly, ma'am, no responsible government will fold the stamp, no matter how weak such a government is, and allow some people to be promoting anarchy. It's not possible. Let's be realistic with ourselves. I'm not interested in discussing personality, or emotional statements. No responsible government will allow the strong government to be crumbled, no matter how weak the government may be. That's not to say that President Buhari has done well. No, I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying in the sense that let us live in peace. There's no way we can be living like this. We are destroying government property, burning our neck office, burning police station, killing innocent people. Please, I'm appealing to my brother in the southeast. Most of these people causing this palaver, they will run away. Thank you, good morning, sir.
Thank
you for calling, Mr. Falojo. Yes, 0705 5949, 0809 7949. Those are the numbers to call this morning. And where we have a caller. Hello? Hello.
Hello.
Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
This is Olude from Melele. Hello.
Please go ahead. We can hear you.
To me, I believe not minding the statement of the president. Twitter has its own rules and regulations. You might alter anything, but if it doesn't go on with a body, that body will reject it. So the president is free to say anything he wants to say. But on Twitter, they say they don't encourage it, and that was why they deleted it. So to me, I don't see anything faulty in what Twitter has done. Neither have I seen anything faulty in what the president has said. But one thing is, say what you want to, you like to say to the people that you accommodated, and not to those that doesn't want to accommodate it. Have a nice day.
Well, that's very curious, trying to have it both ways. So nothing wrong with what the president said, nothing wrong with what Twitter. I would rather take a position one way or the other.
Hello, good morning. All right, we lost that.
If you use a gun emoji, or you say on Twitter, if you joke with your friend that I'm going to kill you, they're going to bring down the post.
Of course, they're going to bring it down because
so it's a normal thing. It's not something
there
out
are
of
regulations.
Yes, it's not out of the ordinary.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Good morning.
All right.
I'm calling from Ibadan. Yeah, please, on the security issue in Nigeria, it is very serious, and we need a proactive way to solve it. Looking at the serious security challenges we have all over the country, it's overwhelming for our security architecture. On the issue of the president, I think Twitter has taken a bias and stand. Mr. President has tweeted so many times on the insecurity has gone in the northwest and the northeast about the bandits in Boko Haram. And Twitter has not deleted anything. It's for the record. But when Mr. President tweeted about the insurrection in the southeast, he deleted it. The same Twitter also quickly deleted the tweet of the former president of the U.S. about the Capitol attack that is an insurrection. We need to be very proactive. We, the citizens, have to support the government in order for us to secure it.
All right. Hello, good morning.
Hello. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, my name is Adeshi Yamala from UI.
All right.
I want to ask a question or some questions. Number one, are we sure the tweet actually came directly from the president? Is he aware of it? That's number one. Number two, people in the southeastern region who are supporting supporting him, are rooting for him, especially their governors are defecting to them. Are they celebrating all this against their people? On the herdsmen invasion of the Southwest, it's not a lie. If you see how trailers of different kind of trucks are moving these people to the southeast, I witnessed it when I was traveling. What are the ones we didn't see in the course of the night? So, and people are not saying anything, especially our leaders here. I don't understand this kind of environment that we are. People don't care. People after their own personal. Meanwhile, when it happens, those leaders, they think that they're not doing anything. It will affect their own family too. They may be in their position while they fly around because of their status. They cannot do anything. But what of their family or their children? They are not safe. It's not only we that we are common men that we are not safe. Their children too are not safe. Let them be aware of this. Those are the best of today.
All right. So thank you for that contribution. 0705 5000 or 0809 700949. Those are the numbers to call. You can also drop a comment on YouTube. 32FM 949 Ibadan. That's the channel to use. 0705 5000 0809 700949. There's a message here. Doctor, please tell us, since inception of this government, can foreign policy attract world powers in order to assist Nigerian government in the area of insecurity? Ekundayo from Ibadan.
Of course it can, but of course Nigeria is not the main priority of the Western world at this point in time. There are other parts of the world that they would rather invest their time in. But if Nigeria implodes, then the whole world will be affected.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, everybody in the studio.
Good morning.
This is John Olarewaju from Agbo. On the comment of Mr. President on Twitter, my own take is this. If the president is talking like this, the number one citizen of Nigeria, at the same time they will come on here again, they will preach about unity, that Nigeria should be united. Is Mr. President not dividing Nigeria based on his tweet? Tweet? Is Mr. President not talking about secession? Now, when the older people now talking about secession, I know that some analysts on the radio, different radio, if you condemn secession, let's stop living in denial. Even Mr. President now, according to his tweet, is talking about secession. And if anybody talk about secession, I don't think that.
All right. 0809 7009.
Do you agree with what?
No, he wasn't talking about secession, but I think he was trying to say the president was being sectional. Of course, he was being sectional from that point of view. And there's a controversy as to whether the president said those things or whether he was aware of the tweet. I don't think it matters that he was aware. He expressed it himself. And what they did in the tweet was to capture what was expressed. Whoever is holding on to his Twitter handle. So it's no doubt that it comes from the president. That's what he thinks. That was what he believes. And that's what he's articulating.
And even if it doesn't come from the president, you would have, we should have a response saying this does not convey the message I wanted to pass across.
Yes.
Hello, good morning.
Only the colleague, please.
All right.
Concerning the security of the state, the immigration, please, the government needs to do something, especially concerning these Okada people. They come to this country, they bring them in lorry. A week or two later, you see them, they come you see them riding new Okadas. Who is giving them these Okadas? We need to be wary of what is happening in the Southwest. Sadly, they've invaded this place. And the unfortunate fact that we, the citizens, are not even conscious. You see somebody sitting on the Okada with me pointing until they get to his doorstep before that person lights it. So many ways, those that are doing this Sobata and other things too, they are not Nigerians. And the government of the state need to do something about it. Let them enact a law that will control those riding Okadas, those parading our streets up and down with wheelbarrows, with boxes, with machines and their sewing clothes. We will all these people, when we talk to them, it's hard for them to even understand Hausa. They speak French, most of them. We need to be wary of these things. Have a nice day.
All right, Dr. Dedoku, talking about this thing that this last caller just established, there's a report here, herdsmen refused to comply with Akeredo's directive on registration in those states.
Well, there's always going to be some sort of clash. And I think if they refuse, then the law authorities, or the law enforcement rather, should take its course and they should be promptly arrested. I think they're setting themselves up for a clash, and I think they're testing the political will of the government.
And that takes us back to the will of the federal government. If the state government gives an order, like what is said, that there should be like a head count, let's know who the foreigners are.
Yes.
Who the Nigerians
are.
Yes,
now,
absolutely.
what if the governors have the willpower to do that and the federal government is saying something else?
Then the federal government is beginning the disintegration of this country, because if the popularly elected governor of a state and the National Assembly backs it and it is the law of the state, and the federal government is going in the opposite direction, especially when they don't have the land belongs to the state, all land resides with the governor, they may have a problem. We have a political problem, but we might even have much more than a political problem, which is a structural problem, a national problem. So the federal government, through the police is supposed to be under the state, even though it's directed by the Inspector General of Police, but the Chief Security Officer of the state is the governor, and they should take their orders from the governor.
All right. Hello, good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
I think I support Dr. Jericho. Whatever issue that may come up with Governor Keredolu giving instructions that you do not want open grazing, and some people want to thwart that authority, you should deal with them. There is a law. Every state has a law. And since they have enacted their own law that they do not want open grazing, the way to go is to start dealing with whoever contravene, whoever go against that instruction of the governor should be dealt with. Not minding whatever the federal government may want to say. The federal government will never, I say it again, they will never allow these people to suffer in the hands of the governor. They will want to bring the issue to the federal. But the governor of that state is the chief security of that state. So he should be able to remain that, stand by the law he has enacted, so that they will not see him as a toothless dog that cannot bark. He should stand on his word and deal with whoever that goes against his instruction. That's my take. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. On that note, I think that will be the very last call we'll take for today. Thank you very much, Doctor, for coming around. My name is GBEMISOLA. SOYEMI. Join us again tomorrow morning at 6 a.m.
And my name is DELE ADEYANJU. Enjoy your day.